Hello everyone, welcome to the another new video. Here I came up with a new interview experience. The company name was EPAM and it was for the role of DevSecOps primarily and DevOps anyhow it covers. And it was for 3.5 years of experience and it was a first technical round. Okay, so I will share the clear-cut questions as well as some responses from my end as a answers. Okay, so do consider these questions, especially whenever you are preparing for the interviews. These are the real-time questions you may also face in your interviews. Okay, so while preparing, consider this and improve your preparation or plan accordingly how to answer. Okay, so this was the one of the interview where I got very comfortable in the interview, and the interviewer was quite good, and he set up a the situation in such a way, a very comfortable manner. And in this interview, this was the only one interview where I got faced. I got asked around 50 questions. Okay, so. Uh, till now I attended many interviews, and nowhere I got these many questions from single interviewer. Okay, so I see some interviews there might be 2 to 3 panel members and we'll get around 40 questions like that. Okay, if there is 2 panel members, at least 10 to 15 questions each panel member will ask, mostly 30 to 40 questions. Okay, so but in this particular interview it covered around 50 questions. Okay, I removed small questions like confirmation questions and all, but other than that's only around 50 questions are there. If I include that, more than 50. Okay, more than half century. Okay, without further ado, let's enter into the video and have a discussion around these particular questions. Okay, and one more thing, I wanted to set up a kind of what are all questions or focus areas in this particular interview. Mostly they focused on security principles, CI/CD tools like Jenkins, and then Ansible tool also, and regarding the SAST, SCA integration, dashed integration in the pipeline, and secure coding mechanisms and education to the developers, and regarding the AWS service, how you are providing the security, and regarding the Terraform there is a questions, and regarding the scripting also. Okay, he asked to share your screen, and there is a one portal. In EPAM, the interview process is quite normal. We will get a screening call from the HR, and once we got shortlisted, then they will schedule a interview, and then they will conduct a first round, and then technical a second round, and then managerial round, and then HR round. Okay, so they will proceed only if the candidate is strong enough as per the job requirement, job description, we can say. Okay, so mostly many of the roles HR do consider the profile in the same manner. And why I'm discussing all these pointers was many of the candidates are commenting. I'm getting a lot of comments regarding this, and I am replying most of the comments. And if I include in the mostly every video I'm including, if I tell more clearly, so that many candidates will watch this particular video and will get aware of the things, how the process is happening from scratch. Okay, so here in this particular interview, especially I got a call from the talent acquisition team, and they cross verified my profile, and then availability confirmed, and then scheduled the interview. Okay, and there is a EPAM portal itself where we need to, they won't conduct interviews in some other portals like Teams or any Zoom call, WebEx call like that. There is a EPAM internal portal, and for practical question, I said, right, they ask you to write a share your screen and write a scripting. Okay, so here there is a their internal portal itself where they will allot the question also. Okay, we need to understand that and solve that problem. Okay, and yeah, I think I'm talking too much. It's okay. Let's enter into the video and have a discussion around the questions and answers. Okay, and moving to the first question, as it is a common introduction question, but here he haven't asked more like a formal way. He directly entered into the I wanted to know more about your security part, how you have integrated, and how much you have experience in that, what you do exactly in that. So my answer is like, I mean, in general also you can answer in such a way, like my role. I mean, in my current role, I primarily focus on integrating security in every stages of the SDLC, and some of the things included are implementing the SAST, SCA, and DAST scans in CI/CD pipeline by using a Fortify, SonarQube, WAPS, dependency check, Trevi, Snake, Zap, these different tools. Okay, and regarding the container security, also we are integrating the tools like Docker Bench, and where the image vulnerabilities will be identified. I mean, the image will be scanned with the help of those tools, and vulnerabilities will be identified. And before pushing the image into a registry, we are going to perform this task. And regarding the secret manager, also we are configured the HashiCorp vault, and where it will find out or highlight the hard-coded credentials or any secrets by mistakenly, which is put in a code or repository. And regarding the Kubernetes, also we do have a OPA gatekeeper, and cloud security, we do have a CSPM cloud security posture management, and we have implemented list privileges IAM roles. And regarding the continuous monitoring, we have integrated a Prometheus and Grafana, where that will give a dashboards with alerts and log monitoring with Splunk mechanism. And here my main contribution is to work on shift left security, and automating the security gates without slowing down the deployment process. In such a way you can answer. Okay, and moving to the second question, what is OAPS? Basically, OAPS is a open web application security project. It is a non-profit organization that provides a free resource tools and some guidelines to improve the application security. The most popular framework from OAPS was OAPS top 10 for web application, and likewise they do have a OAPS top 10 for API testing, OAPS top 10 for Docker security, OAPS top 10 for container security, like that, where it will list most critical application vulnerabilities if it is WAPS web application top 10, and that includes SQL injection, broken authentication, cross-site scripting, like that. Okay, and moving to the next question, can you list one or two regarding the, I mean, it is kind of follow-up question regarding the apps top 10. I listed some, whatever I have remembered, like SQL injection, where attacker injects a malicious SQL queries, and likewise there is a cross-site scripting, XSS we can say, where attacker injects a malicious scripts in user browsers itself. And moving to the next question, in order to check the security in infrastructure, have you used any automation tools? It is regarding the infrastructure security management tools, where we have used a Terraform with the DevSec and Chekovi, where it will scans the IAC files, where it will find the misconfigurations or any open ports or overly given permissions for IAM roles. And we have used a Trevi also, where it will scan a Docker workloads, where basically Docker images we can say. And we have regarding the infrastructure IAC file scan, these are the tools. And Snyk also one of the tool. Snyk IAC scan. Okay, Snyk do provides a multiple services, where Snyk code scan, Snyk code we can say, Snyk container is there for Docker image scan, Snyk IAC scan for infrastructure scanning purpose. And moving to the next question, it is regarding OWASP top 10. What is the risk with SQL injection? Okay, SQL injection was one of the OWASP top 10. Okay, basically SQL injection allows attackers to manipulate the queries sent to the database. In this, risks included are unauthorized access to sensitive data, some credit card details, or some passwords. The attackers will get that access, and data modifications or deletions may happen, and they can completely overtake the database, and they can, in worst cases, they may execute some remote commands also by taking, by remotely they can execute the commands in that particular server. Basically, this is the risk regarding the SQL injection. And moving to the next question, what are the types of cross-site scripting? How it mitigated? Basically, in cross-site scripting, there are different types like stored, reflected, and DOM-based cross-site scripting. Basically, in stored type, where malicious scripts are stored in a database, and it will execute when user loads that particular data. And reflected cross-site scripting, where malicious payloads reflected from the server in immediate response. And coming to the DOM-based cross-site scripting, where it will happens in the client-side scripting manipulating DOM. And regarding the mitigation, there is we need to validate the input, and we need to encode the output, and we need to content security policy. We need to maintain a content security policy, and we need to use a modern frameworks that sanitizes the inputs by default. And yeah, these are the regarding types of the cross-site scripting and mitigation steps. And how do you secure the broken authentication mechanism? Basically, broken authentication occurs when session IDs, passwords, or some tokens are purely, or not managed properly. Okay, and we can secure this particular regarding the authentication mechanism, we can secure by implementing the MFA, multi-factor authentication. We can use the OAuth 2, and we can implement the secure session handling, and we can lock the account after multiple failed attempts. By using a JWT tokens with a proper signing and expiry mechanism. These are the some secure ways for authentication mechanisms we need to follow. And moving to the next question, it is regarding the CI/CD. How do you integrate your OAups and CI/CD pipelines as a part of the security checklist? Basically, the OAups integration in security, pipelines like CI/CD pipelines, we can integrate different tools will be integrated in different stages. Let's say if we talk about OAups dependency check or snake to scan the libraries, source code libraries. Okay, so before the build, like a pre-build, we can say, okay, pre-build. In pre-build stage, we can integrate that, and in the build stage, we can integrate the SAST, static application security testing, that will comes in build stage. Okay, so this was the pre-build where SCA we can perform, and in the build stage where the SAST will be performed, and post build we can implement dashed scanning mechanisms like OAups ZAP also provides a service, ZAT attack proxy, and then we can integrate a container scan. And one more thing, before like container going into a live like production, we need to scan the image also. Okay, and also there is a container scan tools also will be available, and we can also implement password like secret detection mechanisms in the build or pre-build stage itself. These are the different security stack or else WAP stack we can say, which can be integrated in a pipeline. Okay, and in different stages. And what is threat modeling? How does it address the top 10 risks? Basically, the threat modeling is a structured approach to identify a potential threats or some vulnerabilities and some if there is any attack paths that will be identified in the application or system level before we are implementing that, or before we are taking that into a live environment. And regarding how does it address the top 10 risks? It will helps to map the OAP's top 10 risks to actual components like SQL injection, um, like what is the input forms, and like broken authentication, login services. It will basically checks the login services or input forms. By that, with the help of threat modeling, we will check that by that this WAP's top 10 will be addressed in the early stage itself. Okay, and there are some tools like WAP's Threat Dragon. That was a threat modeling tool offered by WAP's, and we can use that. And there is a models in that like a stride model, like spoofing, tampering, reputation, information disclosure, uh, denial of services, elevation of privileges. These are the different things will come following in a stride model. Okay, and moving to the next question, what is sorry it is regarding the education of developers. How do you educate your developers on vulnerabilities and risks? Basically, DevSecOps is a culture where shift left security will be followed, and as a DevSecOps, they need to closely work with your developers team, and they need to conduct a secure coding workshops where that will covers the WAP's top 10, and regarding the SAST scan results, SCS scan results, and secret scan or IS scan, whatever the scope of developers work is there, we need to have a uh, I mean common session, and discuss about this and guide accordingly also as per the report. And we need to share the developer friendly report, whatever the scans we are performing, instead of directly sharing the raw data. We need to in a developer understandable format like PDF format or some Excel format like that. Okay, and we also need to integrate and implement a IDE plugins also, where that will highlights the they will get a report or a scan information or vulnerabilities information in the developer environment, that is IDE itself. And also we can document the coding standards, and some best practices need to be followed by the development team. By this, like developers understand the risks before vulnerabilities reach into a production, and they can take in necessary measures and implement those security best practices in the early stages, and that will prevent in the time reduce the time of detection, as well as increases the speed of deployments, and a fasterness in resolving the vulnerabilities. And moving to the next question, what are the some key GitHub enterprise security features? In the job description also, I see regarding the GitHub Enterprise knowledge. So as a part of that, I focused on that. Like whatever the questions we are saying, I think as per the job description, he was asking the questions. I kept my resume and job description side by side, and he was covering each and every point almost. Yeah, coming to the response, like in GitHub Enterprise, there is a different security features like secret scanning, where it will detect the hard-coded tokens or keys in your repositories. Code scanning will be there, where uh, uses for code QL to uh, identify vulnerabilities in the code, and audit logs also there for complaints and tracking access. Rollback also there, where like granular permissions to the repositories or to the teams will be implemented. And there is a branch protection rules also, where that will enforce the PR reviews, and it will check the status before they are merging into the uh, like main branch. And there is a bots also, like a dependent bot, where it will alerts and fixes the vulnerable dependencies. So this will basically help to shift left security approach for the source control layer itself. And moving to the next question, how do you integrate a SAST SCA tools with Jenkins or any CI/CD tools? Basically, this SAST basically SAST is static application security testing, where we have used a 45 in our project, and Sonar Cube scanners. We have integrated that in a pipeline at the build stage, where I mean even before the build stage, or else parallel to the build, where time for pipeline running will be reduces. And also we have set up a quality gates where whenever it finds a severe high severity vulnerability, it should fail a particular pipeline build. And regarding the SCA tool, we have used a OWASP dependency check as well as Trivy also, Trivy and Snick, where it will check the vulnerable libraries or some in-house or third-party libraries. Both it will be scanned, and I mean, it will automatically scans the dependencies, we can say. Okay, like whatever the upgraded dependencies received from the development team. So once the pull request was done, pipeline automatically triggers, and this particular SAST and SCA, we can also run this parallelly also. Okay, I mean these scans will be implemented. And the next question was, what is SCA? Basically, SCA is a software composition analysis, where it will check the third party or some open source libraries in the application. It will let us know if any known vulnerabilities like CVEs are there, or any outdated versions they are using, and what is the license informations, and what is the metadata, who is the owner, and what is the like expiry date of the component, when it was originated, where it was originated. Like that metadata will be there. Okay, and there are multiple tools to track this. And in each tool, the output might vary slightly, like WAP's dependency check is there, and Snick also there, Trivia also there, and Sonatype Nexus IQ server is there. And moving to the next question. In CI/CD, we have passwords, secrets. How do you enable a encryption or anything to manage them securely in a CI/CD pipeline? I mean, first of all, we never hardcode a secrets, and if they are, I mean, if they are hard coded, we need to follow certain encryption mechanisms by using Jenkins credential plugin. I mean, there is a plugin where that will encrypt the credentials and store with restricted access. We can maintain and manage that access also. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay. And yeah, regarding the secrets in Kubernetes, we can uh, encrypt with controlled based decryption, and we can rotate the secrets periodically by using a AWS KMS, key management system, where that will auto rotate the uh, auto rotation of keys will be happened. And we can also restrict access, only the like jobs or service account can read the secrets like that manner. And also we can integrate a vault also, like a HashiCorp vault or AWS secret manager, where it will enable a dynamic secret fetched mechanism at runtime whenever it requires. So these are the encryption mechanisms and steps can be taken. And the next question was, in cloud security, we need to enforce least privileges. How do you implement that least privileges in cloud security? So basically, we need to implement a least privileges. Um, that will say principle of least privileges, POLP. Um, it can be implemented by creating a IAM roles with only required permissions, no like uh, star policies where all access for everyone like that. Okay, and we need to use a dedicated IAM groups for easier policy management purpose. And we need to maintain service specific roles. Let's say if you have a EC2 or S3, and I mean, based on these services, we need to maintain a roles also. And we need to regularly run the IAM access analyzer and AWS Cloud Trail audit logs to detect the unused services or unused permissions are there. If anything is there, that will identifies there with the help of AWS IAM access analyzer. We can also enable a AWS console login. I mean, whenever we log into a console, MFA will be enabled for that. Okay, so by that, the services or workloads only gets a minimal required rights for the right users. Okay, and the next question was, how you use Terraform? Sorry, have you used Terraform or sorry? Yeah, have you used Terraform Terragant for infrastructure provisioning purpose? I have used Terraform like essentially on, I mean, for infrastructure provisioning in AWS, especially the services like EKS cluster, CC2, S3, VPC, IAM roles like that. And I have written a reusable Terraform modules for consistency also. And I have integrated a Terraform cloud and pipelines like Jenkins and GitLab for IAC automation purpose. And the next question was, how do you integrate a security checks in Terraform workflow? So security in Terraform workflow, basically we can integrate a like IAC scan tools in the CI/CD stages whenever we run a stage. Um, if any misconfigurations is there in the Terraform IAC files, and if there is any uh, public access for a S3 bucket or some uh, enforce an encryption or I mean any security violation will be identified with the help of a policy as a code. And I think this is the like mechanism for integrating into a. I mean, there are different workflows also. I mean, based upon their like architecture, I can say, or else workflow they are following, they can integrate accordingly. Okay, I think I answered the same in the interview. And the next question was, have you created any dashboards? So sorry. Have you created any dashboards to track? Let me take a pen. Yeah. Have you created any dashboards to track a metrics or measure the security tools for effectiveness? Basically, the question is regarding, have you built any dashboards to check whether any security tool metrics or measures for effective coordination purpose, effective troubleshooting purpose, like that. So there is a dashboard for Fortify, like as a security tool, that will provide a code vulnerabilities, and we can integrate a bug tracking mechanism like Zira, and we can give a access to the respective developer team, and they can directly access. I mean, the ticket will be assigned to them. And also we have created role based users for Fortify SSC, and that user can access that particular application vulnerabilities and mitigate them. I mean, work and mitigate them accordingly. And regarding the Sneak and Trivi, I think Sneak do have a dashboard that will come with your dashboard. And regarding the secret detection tools like Git leaks, where not Git leaks, uh, Git Guardian, I believe, they do have a dedicated dashboards where we will get. I mean, we will find the any secret detection, or if it is snake, any software I mean, open source dependencies, vulnerabilities, or let's say snake IAC we are using, uh, vulnerabilities regarding the Docker image, and that will build a centralized dashboards. And they do have your Jira dashboards also. Yeah, different dashboards I have built. And tools also provide some case. I mean, some type of tools they do provide your dashboards. And the next question was regarding the cloud security. What is CSPM? Basically, CSPM is a cloud security posture management. It is like a tools or process that continuously monitor the cloud environment for misconfigurations or some compliance violations. Let's say, for example, use case, I can say like we need to detect open security groups and unencrypted S3 buckets, unused IAM roles. Uh, and also, let's say we need to enforce the compliance framework like a CIS framework and PCI DSS framework, like that. And there are multiple tools to accommodate this CSPM, cloud security posture management, with the help of Prisma Cloud or AWS config also, and Aqua security. uh, Again, sorry for the disturbance. Yeah, where we are at CSPM, or Cloud Security Version. Different tools like Prisma Cloud, CheckOV, AWS Config, Aqua Security. Different tools are there to integrate this security, and also Cloud Custodian. So that is regarding the cloud security posture management. And the next question was, have you used Kubernetes? Yes, my answer is sorry. My answer is yes. Sorry. Yeah, my answer is yes. Where I have used Kubernetes extensively for deploying the microservices applications with the help of AWS EKS, and I have also written a Helm charts and Kubernetes manifest files also, and I have also configured a role-based access controls, RBAC policies, and network policies for security. And yeah, that is my response. How do you sorry, do you have your knowledge on Kubernetes security? Basically, I do have a knowledge on Kubernetes security in multiple aspects, like network policies, secret management, RBAC, pod security, image security, audit logs, like that. I will go by one point where let's say if you wanted to, I worked, cloud security implementation as per the OWASP top 10 also. That will comes primarily the RBAC, role-based access controls, where we are going to define the roles and services accounts with least privileges. And regarding the network policies, where we restrict the pod to pod communication, we will block the unnecessary traffic flow, and secret management. We have used a Kubernetes secrets manager with sealed secrets for encryption purpose, and pod security standards. We can say PSS, where we are going to enforce the policies like running non-root content. We need to run a non-root containers, like that. Let's say if we wanted to identify like that. And image security, where Kubernetes obviously at the end with the container and images. We have integrated for image security. We have integrated the Trevi to block, to identify the vulnerable images and to block those images to admission into the environment. And yeah, it will basically ensure the Kubernetes workflow remains compliance and stands against the security best practices and follows the OWASP top 10 security standards for Kubernetes. And the next question was, have you built infrastructure using a Terraform? The answer is yes. I have built a complete AWS environment by using a Terraform, for example, including the VPC setups like subnets, routables, NAT gateway, internet gateway, and regarding the EKS clusters like worker node, IAM roles, security groups, and regarding the EC2 and S3 also, we have created a EC2 instance with the security groups and IAM roles, S3 with the bucket policies and versioning management, and a key management system and encryption. And I have also followed modular Terraform design, so the infra can be reused accordingly in different environments like dev, QA, production, like that. And the next question is, what is the data block in Terraform? There are some follow-up questions in the Terraform. So one of the follow-up question is this: what is the data block in Terraform? Basically, the data block in Terraform is used to fetch the information. Sorry. Yeah. Basically, I'm getting some call in between. I'm so sorry for that. So yeah, I hide it for that. No problem. And basically, the data block in Terraform is used to fetch the information from existing infrastructure instead of creating a new ones. For example, that I'm so sorry. I'm stuck in between where I'm getting the call again. Yeah. Okay. I think we're done with the Terraform block. Where basically, the data block will fetch the information from the existing infrastructure instead of creating a new environment again. Okay, so that is basically a data block in Terraform. And the next question was, what is provisioners in Terraform? Basically, the provisioners in Terraform, it will allow us to execute the scripts or whatever the commands we are running on a resource after it was created and destroyed. I'm so sorry. I'm getting some group call. Yeah, where we are at provisioners. Basically, the Terraform provisioners are, I think we already discussed. Yeah, let's a quick recap. Basically, provisioners allows us to execute a scripts or some whatever the commands we are running on that particular resource after that particular resource was created. Okay, and yeah, that is the purpose of provisioners. Why should we log a state file in Terraform? Basically, this particular state file in Terraform, terraform.tf state, where it will stores the mapping of resources like logging and storing, we can say, is properly it contains some sensitive data like passwords and let's say if needed for plan apply consistency and it will helps, the state file helps to collaboration, to enable a collaboration uh, and also the best practice was we need to store the state file in remote backend like S3 DynamoDB locking mechanism. And if the state file is not logged properly, there might be a risk of drift or security leakage may happen, and inconsistent infra will be created. Here I talk about a drift, right? Basically, a drift in the sense, let's say if someone changes something in console level and something changes happened with the help of code. Okay, so here let's say one stage before someone applies with the help of code, and one stage after someone go login into a console and changed some infrastructure. So if you see, compare both, there is a infrastructure change will be happened, right? So this is basically a drift, configuration drift, we can say. And to avoid that also, we are we need to log a state file. Okay, and the next question was, what is your primary CI/CD tool? My primary CI/CD tool is Jenkins, and I have also used a GitLab CI. And the next question was, have you used Ansible? I have used Ansible for configuration management. Let's say if you wanted to install your packages and configure your servers, multiple servers, we have used Ansible. And the next question was, what is shared libraries in Jenkins? There are some follow-up questions in Jenkins. Let's deep dive into that. So the first question is, what is shared libraries in Jenkins? So basically, the shared libraries in Jenkins will enables us to reuse the pipeline code across the multiple projects, not only in that particular project. We can store the reusable functions in a Git repository. Whenever it requires, when we can use that particular function. Okay, and this particular shared libraries will improve the reusability of the pipeline, reusability in the pipeline, and reduces the duplications in the CI/CD pipeline. And it will also standardizes the process in the CI/CD pipeline. Okay. And the next question is regarding the SIM, like follow-up question. Can you walk me through the whole CI process? What is the CI process? Basically, a CI process includes multiple stages, like starting from code commit. Let's say code is stored in some GitLab repository or GitHub repository, and then it was the code will be committed by the developer, and the webhook, GitHub webhook, we can say, that will trigger Jenkins pipeline, and then sorry and then the build will happen with the help of Maven, and it will generate a artifacts, and then the SCA plus SAST scan parallelly happens with the help of security tools like Fortify, Snake, SonarCube, dependency check, like that. And then we are going to perform a unit tests with where that will runs with coverage reports, and then we are going to upload the artifacts to the like a target repository, like a Docker registry, like Docker Hub or Nexus artifact repository, like that. And then the reports and notifications, that is basically, the last stage in the CI process. The results and reports will be sent to the respective team with the help of Jira as a bug tracking mechanism. I mean, in this entire CI process, the faster feedback and process will be implemented. Okay, and builds also will be happened securely. Okay, and the next question was, how does code get checked out? How does Jenkins pull the code? Basically, Jenkins uses a Git plugin. In the pipeline, we specify the what is the repository and what is the branch. Okay, so with the help of that, it will fetches the repository and the branch, and it uses a credentials stored in the Jenkins credential store, and then the pipeline. Sorry, the webhook, a GitHub webhook, we can say that will trigger a Jenkins, and then once the Jenkins is triggered, Jenkins pulls the latest code via the HTTP or SSH connection, and then the like further stages flow will be happened. Okay, like a scan process. And the next question was, how do you run a particular job on a particular agent every single time? So in Jenkins, we do have a I mean, we can achieve this particular task, like a particular job on your particular agent only every single time. So we can control the job executions by using, there is a labels actually with the help of labels. When configuring the agent, we need to assign a label like what exactly the name, like a Java agent like that. Okay, and in the Jenkins file or job configurations, we need to specify um, what exactly the uh, like agent we are using. Okay, so pipeline, and then the flower brackets will start, and then we are going to define the agent instead of any. We need to start a flower bracket, and then we need to specify the label naming label in the single quotes. We need to specify the Java agent like that. Okay, so whenever that job triggers, that will make sure to ensure the job always runs on a specific agents. I mean, it is basically useful when environment dependencies differ. Let's say one environment have a one like one environment requires a Java 8, one environment requires a Java 17. In that case, we need to set up a Java 8 in one agent and Java 17 in one agent, and then we need to trigger the jobs accordingly to by specifying the label for that particular pipeline. Okay, and the next question is regarding, like it is kind of inquiry question. Were you part of your production release and deployments? Basically, yes, I have actively participated in the production releases, and my responsibilities will be included like validating the build artifacts before the release process and running the like final SAST scan, dashed scan, and SCS scans, and also I will coordinate with the release management team and change controls accordingly if required, uh, and also we will validate the upload, I mean post deployment, also like Prometheus, with the help of Prometheus Grafana. And yeah, and the next question was, if you wanted to run a multiple build steps at a same time to reduce the overall build time, how do you do? So we need to run a multiple build steps in the same time. Okay, to reduce the overall build time. What we need to do? Basically, we can go with the parallel. I mean, we can use the parallel stages in a pipeline. We need to. I mean, whenever we are specifying the stage, we need to specify parallel after the stage specifications. We need to specify the first stage name, and then after that parallel word. After that, we need to specify the under the parallel. We need to specify the name. Okay, name of the, I mean stage again. So I mean, there is a one parent stage, and then under the parallel also there will be a two stages. Okay, so uh, whatever the stages we are under the parallel, okay, that will runs parallelly. Let's say if we use Maven test as well as SonarQube scan. So if you include that parallelly, so build and scan both happens parallelly, and it will, I mean, basically reduces the total pipeline execution time by running the jobs concurrent manner. Okay, and there is a one scenario. Let me walk through the scenario. Sorry, yeah, the question was, let's say your whole Jenkins infrastructure is on a EC2 instance where you are EC2 using a Java version 17. You are having a legacy pipeline which needs a older versions of Java, let's say Java 8. Okay, so one application requires a Java 17 and one requires a Java 8. How do you handle this particular situation? So sorry, yeah, in this particular situation, I mean, I can go with uh, using of a one agent like a Docker agent with Java 8. Okay, and then I use EC2 with Java 8. I mean, uh, one moment, I need to explain it properly. Yeah, basically we do have a multiple options. Let's say in one approach, we can go with the Docker approach where one image with 8 version and another image with 17 version. And I mean, it is a Docker approach. Okay. And in the second approach, we can go with agent approach, multiple agent, we can say. Earlier in another question, I have explained that, let's say if you wanted to run one particular I mean, whenever I run that particular pipeline, I need to run that particular pipeline in specific agent only. So it slightly matches to that. Okay. So here in the agent approach, we need to go with in one agent, we need to configure the 8 version. In another agent, we need to configure the 17 version. And whenever we are triggering the one application, we need to specify the, I mean, we need to target to 8 version, and another application we need to go with 17 approach, I mean 17 version, which is in another agent. Okay, so these are the different approaches. And I mean, there is also a third option where we can set up a multiple environment variables. Like we can have a I mean same tool with a different, I mean same Java with the different versions. So let's say Java 8 and 17. Download those two and set up a environment variables for two applications. Whenever we are passing the Java home path for first application, we need to use the first, I mean Java 17, and for the another application we need to specify the what is the home directory for Java 8, like that. Okay, so I mean to avoid the like conflicts and all, best approach was using a Docker image uh, where two identical images will be there. Sorry, two different images with the different versions. Okay, and the next question was, do you have any scripting knowledge? Yeah, here the Python question will come. I said yes, I do have a scripting experience in Shell as well as Python, where in Shell I have automated the deployments and log rotation and cron jobs run by using a shell scripting. And in the Python, I use let's say if I wanted to API automation will be done, or parsing of JSON or YAML, and integrating the things in your Jenkins. Okay, so those are the like different purpose of the Python snippet. I mean, if you think about like how it will be integrated in pipeline, let's say if I wanted to track a mechanism, or else build a gateway in such a way where we need to run one single snippet. If we found any vulnerability with the help of Trivi or some SonarQube or Fortify, like that, we cannot automatically fail the particular pipeline. Okay, so in that such a case, I have used a Python. Okay, so and the next question was he asked to share your screen and write a I mean, there is a problem in that particular screen, and the question was write a script that makes the string. There is a one string which is beautiful as a input. We need to remove all the vowels from that particular string. That means A, E, I, O, U. We need to remove if anything is there in that, and then we need to return the string same in a reverse order. Okay, after removing the vowels, we need to return that particular string. Okay, like beautiful is there, right? We need to remove A, E, I, O, U first, and then from last L, F, T, B. We need to return that in such a way. Okay, and this is homework for you. You can try. And the next question was what is the difference between list and tuple? Basically, a list is a mutable, and tuple is which is a non-mutable, or else immutable, we can say, where we cannot modify once it was created. If it is tuple, we can add, remove, and change the elements. And I mean, while defining, the list will be defined in a square brackets, and the tuple in a like closed brackets. Okay, and the next question was, do you know sets, decorators, or generators in Python? I mean, regarding the generators and decorators, I don't have working knowledge experience. Regarding the sets, I do have a uh, like high level understanding. Basically, sets are like unordered unique collection of elements, uh, like a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And I need to look into decorators and generators. Okay, if you know, like kindly comment, and if you don't know, kindly work. And this is also a kind of homework for you. Okay, and the next question was for key value pairs, what do you use? Basically, we all know for key value pairs, we use a dictionary where let's say if you wanted to store username, okay, the name will be the key, and the corresponding value will be the name, whatever the actual name. Let's say Kumar or some Satya. Okay, so that will be the value. Okay, and what services have you used in AWS? I think remaining questions will be regarding the AWS till last. What services have you used in AWS? In AWS, I have used compute services like AWS EC2, Lambda, EKS, and storage services like AWS S3 primarily. And network, I have used a VPC, security groups, and Lambda, NAT gateway. And regarding the IAM security, IAM roles and policies, KMS, key management service, and AWS secret manager also. Regarding the database, RDS database, and regarding the monitoring and logging, AWS CloudWatch and CloudTrail I have used. And the next question was, what is the transit gateway in AWS? Basically, a transit gateway, we can say TGW. It acts as a centralized mechanism that allows a multiple VPCs on-prem networks via the direct connect, or else we can use the VPCs also. Sorry, VPN, not a VPC. Virtual private network. Okay, I mean either the direct connect or VPNs, and I mean basically that is the purpose where it acts as a central accommodator. Their hub also, we can say central hub, where that will allows multiple VPCs, on-prem networks, and other AWS accounts to interconnect by using a single gateway. Okay, that is basically a transit gateway. Instead of managing a complex peering relationships like VPC peering, with the help of transit gateway, we can connectivity will be happened, and it will enable seamless manner. Okay, and what is NAT gateway in AWS? Basically, a NAT is a network address translation gateway that will allows instances in a private subnet to connect to the internet or any AWS services. Uh, let's say, for example, we place a application service uh, in a server which is in a private subnet. Okay, and they need to pull some OS or security patches, or let's say they need to connect to a AWS APIs, let's say AWS S3 or DynamoDB. So in that case, instead of giving them public IPs, we can use the AWS NAT gateway in a public subnet. Okay, so that is the purpose of NAT gateway, where it will improve the security by ensuring that our private workloads never had direct exposure into a internet. It is very important and critical service in AWS. Okay, crucial service. How do you prevent a? I think we are crossing more than 1 hour. Yeah, I think that time purely worth it, I believe. And yeah, without further ado, let's enter. We do have around 8 questions. Sorry, 5 questions. 5 to 6 questions. Okay. How do you prevent DDoS attack for a application hosted in AWS? Basically, a DDoS a denial of services attack, we need to implement a layered defense approach by using AWS Shield, where it will mitigate the DDoS attack volumes, and we can use the application load balancer, or else AWS Cloud Font in front of applications to observe the large amount of traffic, and we can configure the AWS WAF, that is the web application firewall, with rate limiting, uh, with the IPs blacklisting also, with the custom roles. Let's say, for example, we need to block malicious user agent or some SQL injection patterns. Okay, with the help of AWS web application firewall, we can do that. And also we can use the auto scaling groups so that infrastructure can be scaled during the unexpected spike, while AWS Shield or web application firewall filter sorts the malicious traffic. And we also we can also configure the AWS CloudWatch alarm and AWS guard duty for anomaly detection. um, yeah, these are the different preventive measures we can take to to prevent the DDoS attack in your application hosted in AWS environment. The next question was, have you worked with AWS Shield web application firewalls? Yes, I have worked with AWS Shield, where I have used a AWS Shield with the Shield standard. Okay, where that will enables by defaultly, and it will also exposure to a Shield advanced during a security POCs, and where this particular AWS Shield basically helps to mitigate the volumetric DDoS attacks without manual interventions. That is the purpose of AWS Shield. And regarding the AWS application, web application firewalls, I have implemented the AWS web application firewall rules with application load balancer and API gateways to block the SQL injections or cross-site scripting and enforce the rate limitings. Especially for one case, we created a custom web application firewall rule to block a traffic from certain geographic locations that were not a part of our customer base. So yeah, I do have a experience on that. What are the VPC and point service? It is basically endpoint service, I believe. Yeah, basically VPC and not it's not and it is the end actually. Okay, so yeah, basically this particular VPC endpoint service, it will allow secure private connectivity to a AWS services like DynamoDB or S3 without any transversing the internet. Okay, so that is the purpose of the AWS VPN endpoint service. And I mean, if we talk about real-time use case, let's say, for example, we have configured AWS S3 VPC gateway endpoint, where that I mean, if we configure, I mean, the data never left AWS private network, and that will ensure the compliance for sensitive workloads, especially. And the next question was, have you used an EC2 instance with the private IP? There is no public IP assigned to it. How do you SSH into a EC2 instance? It is a kind of small scenario. Okay, so in this particular case, we can use a SSM session manager, which is a preferred way by using a AWS system manager. That is basically a session manager. Okay, AWS system manager, session manager, where that will we can directly connect the directly with the AWS EC2 private without needing a Bastion host. Okay, and the Bastion host also one of the way where Bastion host, with the help of that, we can launch an EC2 instances in a public subnet with a public IP address, and then we can SSH into, and then we are going to basically SSH into a private instance. So initially, we are going to launch the EC2 instance with a public subnet with a public IP. Then we are going to SSH into a public IP and then SSH into a private instance. Okay, so that is how we can approach. Okay, and the next question was, I think we are almost done. The next question was, what is S3 intelligent tiring? Okay, S3 intelligent tiring. Basically, I mean, I don't have much knowledge on this, but I do have a high level understanding on this. Basically, the S3 intelligent tiring is the one of the storage class that automatically moves the objects between two access types. Let's say some frequent access and infrequent access, like based upon the changing usage patterns, that will basically helps. Okay, and then final question was, have you used any CSPM tool? Basically, CSPM, I think we already discussed about regarding the CSPM. What is CSPM? And it is a follow-up question for that, I believe. Basically, cloud security posture management is the CSPM, where the tools for CSPM that will basically check the security checks in your cloud. And I have used tools like AWS not AWS tool. It is some third-party Prisma Cloud and Aqua Security also there, and a cloud custodian. These are the tools I have used for AWS configuration drift, find outing purpose, or else any posture management violations. Okay. Yeah, I think these are the questions which I wanted to share with you, and I think this is the one of the video which is a very lengthiest video in our channel. And yeah, I think the time is truly valuable for you as well as me. Okay. And if you are not comfortable, kindly do watch the video. I mean, as in a preliminary note, I need to inform this at the end of the video. I forgot to include at the end of the video I was including. Make sure to consider increasing the speed of the video. Okay. So sorry for inconveniences in between. And also one more note, this is a kind of responses only from my end. Okay, do consider your research. Okay, so that is the main motto. The main motto of why I'm sharing this was, you will get familiar with what the current industry like expectations, like how was the their expectations for certain years of experience range. Based upon your years of experience, you will prepare accordingly and face the real world interviews in upcoming days. That is the only main intention. By sharing this knowledge, obviously sharing is very much I mean, sharing in public is very much I mean, I feel it is contributing to a community. Okay. And it is like helping, how you help to a people, if they don't have, or if they are asking something like that, I'm helping with the help, I mean, in a knowledge transfer manner. Okay. So yeah, I think you are finding my videos helpful, and do consider commenting if you have any points, if you wanted to me discuss or need to me asked. I will definitely address all your queries and fulfill your maximum to maximum uh, like your requirements as per my potential. Okay. So yeah, that's it. And I will keep the questions in the description, and I will also try to keep a kind of responses. By that, you can refer that particular document while I mean, before you are going to your interview, or 1 to 2 days before your interview was scheduled, like that. Okay. And yeah, keep consistency in your learning as well as interview appearances. By that, you will get more familiar. Okay. And also one more thing, open for failure. Okay, accept the failure. Don't expect directly in one shot I will get selected, or I will get shortlisted and get the offer. That may also happen, but if you like I mean, if you okay to accept a failure, then success is added advantage. Okay. So yeah, that's the point I wanted to share. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much once again for your valuable time and your support. Bye.